Welcome everybody to our third session of the DOTx. We had Francesca Gamicchia, we had Katia Budet the two other times, and today we have Laor Glukhovsky, our current PQD. He is serving us as Program Quality Director, PQD, this year, and served us successfully last year as Club Growth Director. In the past, he was Area Director and many other club officer roles, and still doing that while doing PQD at the same time. In his career, he works in business and resource development, and successfully developed the strategic plans for numerous deep tech startups, as well as consultant a major insurance company into turning around, and that has since rebounded. In addition, he holds an MBA in strategy and business development. Tonight, Laor will walk us through some tools that he uses often, both within Toastmasters and outside of Toastmasters, for all levels, from club level to district level. So very exciting, very curious about the strategic tools that we're all going to hear about. So with no further ado, the stage is yours. Just to say, sorry, before that, it's 2 hours with a break, correct, Laor?
We'll have a short break, yes.
And if there are any questions, you can write in the chat, and Laor will address or will ask me to see if there are any, or address them as he goes along or at the end, as you wish, Laor.
Or raise your hand, your virtual hand, and I'll also answer. So, but when I'll be sharing the screen, I won't be able to see the chat. So for that, I'll ask you if you to show me. So, anyways, welcome everyone. I'm so happy to have everyone here. We have various area directors from all of District 109. We have the division directors. We have a couple club officers from within our district, and even from District 123 in Canada. So I am very happy to see everyone here because, as mentioned, tonight we'll be talking about adopting the strategic mindset. Now, I don't want to go into the fact that this may sound like there are some buzzwords, because I don't believe in buzzwords. I believe in actually doing these things. Nonetheless, I will still give you a little bit of a background of what I'll be talking about. I'll give you a few tools. We'll see if we can get through all of them. And those that we won't, you'll still have access to them. I'll be uploading them to a shared drive. And of course, I'm always here to help you as the program quality director, and even just as me as Laor. So, yes. What is the strategic mindset? The strategic mindset is learning not what to think, but how to think. Because we want to ask ourselves, not if we want to say just, oh, tell me what to think, this is not strategic. We are now the officers, district and club officers. We're the ones that need to provide some sort of oversight, some thought, and therefore and sometimes these tools, it's more of something to think about, of how to think rather than what to think. So, because sometimes you'll have to be a little bit creative, but these tools help in being creative. When it comes to being a strategic person, you have to remember to always practice these, right? You're not going to get it from the first try. I certainly didn't. Maybe some people will. They, of course, depending on the tool, but it's something that you need to think about, always learn, and always learn how to do it better. And for this, by the way, don't be afraid to use other things like ChatGPT or any other tools that aren't just what I will present. Right. We need to be an open mind here. And lastly, and this is the difference between maybe McKinsey consultants or something like that, who only think about the strategy from big picture and so forth. At the end of the day, you need to think about what it's like to be in the day-to-day. Putting that thought, whatever you thought, how to solve a problem, into actual practical steps, into a plan, and make sure you see it through and not just say, okay, this is the problem, and in general, this is how we're going to get there. And that's the difference, I think, between a good manager, a good officer, and one who can go beyond the extra mile. And of course, I think this is true for also regular managers in your regular life. So some of these tools, there will be a couple of, as you can see, big abbreviations. And we'll touch upon them. Of course, there are many other tools. These are just the ones that I use much more often within Toastmasters. We'll touch upon MISI, PESTLE, SWOT, and R. And yes, it's R like a pirate. It's true. Of course, for all of these, there's a lot of material that you can read through, right? These aren't a particular secret, these tools. So I encourage you to read more about them afterwards. I provided, at least for each one of them, at least one source, a basic source of what it is. And if I took a graphic from there, of course, I provided the source for it. But I always encourage you to learn more about this. At the moment, I see that there's still no chat. No, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. So if all of a sudden, Yafit, let me know if anyone has a question, because I can't see everything. It is a smaller screen. So
No
let's start with MISI. MISI stands for Mutually Exclusive, Collectively Exhaustive. Mutually exclusive means topics or concepts that do not overlap. And we'll touch about that in a sec with examples, and we'll put it to practice. So for now, don't worry about it. So mutually exclusive means that one does not mean two, right? One is one and two is two. They do not overlap. Collectively exhaustive means that all the topics or concepts, when added together, address the entirety of the problem at hand. Meaning you have used up all the different parts that you can in this particular level, because we'll be building a tree, and I'll show you how it works in a sec. We'll be building a tree that is going to be that for each level, the topics are the same from the same level of the tree and mutually exclusive. So we might start first with positive integers and negative integers, because positive integers are not negative. And then we'll be going down the tree, and of course, 1 is not 2, and -1 is not -2, and so forth. But they're still the same. We use it to make sure that we ask the right question. So it should be focused, it should be high level enough, and you should avoid circular logic. You always need to ask yourself, if you're trying to solve this problem, what do the right, or how do you do it right? And then you can actually say it's not this, it's not this, it's not this. So once you can rule out one factor, you can move on to the next branch, and don't ever jump to conclusions. And of course, it's always okay to change and go back and up and down the tree, and this is how we know we're thinking about the problem. So let's think about this first problem. And for that, I'll actually use a whiteboard within this Zoom. And so in this whiteboard, and I will ask to, for now, be a little not to draw anything, even though it's nice and fun. So I have a question for you. How do we get from London to Paris. Give me, and don't jump to conclusions. So what I mean is that we'll be thinking about so we get from London to Paris. In general, what are there are 3 different ways. And I'll say to you so that you can try and start to get into the thinking here. So the first way, we can, so not necessarily just airplane, but again, please, I will ask you to, at the moment, not to draw anything because I do need to use this. There's a way to restrict drawing, but it is right. I'm just going to put it in writing here. So in the air or over the channel, right? Over the channel, the English Channel, we can go on the channel and as I said, I would like to ask people to not draw at the moment. You'll get to draw later. I will give you an exercise. Don't worry. And we can go under the channel, right? Because we have, of course, we can fly. We can go on the water. We can go under the water. These are mutually exclusive, right? You can't be in the air and under the sea at the same time. You cannot be, but we also have exhausted all, so this is mutually exclusive, right? You can't be in the air and under the sea. Or on the sea either. And it's collectively exhaustive. So in this level of the branch, you can't go any further. It's not like you can do anything else. It's over, on, under. Good. That's the first level of MISI. Let's go a little bit further in. So let's go over the channel. We can fly, we can do over the channel, so fly in different ways. So we can fly from, from LHR, from Heathrow to Charles de Gaulle. Meanwhile, my cat will be jumping all over my computer here. You can go fly from, I don't know if these are actual real flights, but you can fly from maybe from Gatwick to Roissy. You can fly in other ways, right? So you can actually go and start adding these, and then you can actually say whatever you need, right? You go over all of them, and then you can go and actually do, okay, we have flight British Airways, number whatever at this hour. We have maybe Air France at this hour, Ryanair, etc. Right? On the channel, same thing. We can do the, usually it's just the boat, but maybe it's the boat from Dover to Dover to Calais, and maybe you'll take actually from Dover to, I believe in Belgium there is also an option, and then from there you can drive to Paris. And of course, under we have also the other options. We can go via the Eurostar, and then we go and actually find the actual different schedules or by a car. Okay, so this is, and you go down, further and further and further until you find whatever solution that works for you. Because you might say, oh, I can't do in the morning, I can't fly, I can't go from Heathrow, and I can't go to Dover, so okay, let's do the Eurostar. If we go back, there's actually, if we go back, we saw, this is one I did earlier, right? By air, on the English Channel, under the English Channel, we go by car, Eurostar, and then we decide we want to go on the 1031, right? Because we can rule out right away. Another more business example is our company is losing income year over year. We can say, is it because it's either low revenues or because high costs, right? Low revenues are not high costs. No matter how you count it, revenue is not cost. And then you can say, maybe I have both, but you can go down the next level of the tree and say, okay, maybe we have low revenues because of new competition and unsuccessful products, right? Competition is not the same as the product, because maybe you had a product launch, but you're the only one there, versus new competition is new competition. Whereas for high costs, we might go and look at financial, operational, investment. We can say, no, we don't actually have low revenues, not because of competition or successful product. We actually did pretty well. And then we can go to the operational and eventually find because the high federal interest rate. So let's try it. I'm not sure if we can actually split it to groups of 4. Let's see how many people we have, but I do want to do a breakout room. I want you to try and use this in a Toastmasters related level. You can do club, area, division level. Some examples, some issues that you might want to look at are leadership pipeline issues, right? Maybe we don't have enough leaders. So you say leadership pipeline. And then from there, you can start to figure out what actually makes a good leadership pipeline. And you can start to actually rule out what is wrong and what is right. Or low contest attendance, pathways adoption, club retention, membership growth, clubs in a certain market. Maybe we don't have any clubs in a certain market. Lack of club sponsors, mentors, coaches. Choose something that works for you and work together in your groups. You can use a whiteboard, or someone maybe you can actually draw on your own, maybe a piece of paper. At the end, I'll ask you to show or at least read it out loud, and it'll be nice to hear some thoughts and see what you come up with. So, Madam Zoom Master, let's see if we can split it up into breakout rooms. Let's do random, I assume.
Who is the Zoom master? I am.
I made you co-host.
Okay. Breakout rooms. Are all people present?
Let's do. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll do 3 breakout rooms. I think that should be enough. I won't include the co-host so that we can. I think 3 breakout rooms should be enough.
So you're doing it. So
I'll do it. I'll do it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it right now.
Because I'm doing the same, so I'll let you do it.
Okay. Okay. Create. I want to make sure that we have close automatically. Okay. And of course, I'll be jumping between all the rooms so that if you have questions, I'll be there.
So just to sum it up, we take a problem or an issue and then we start breaking it down.
Start breaking it down in a messy way.
Okay.
The rooms are open, so Hassan, you should have received a notification. Okay.
Okay.
You're welcome to join any one of them. You're the co-host. You got the permission.
We have 14 people, 15, including me. Okay, it's not bad.
Not bad, not bad, not bad. Thing is, we
All
have a
right,
few
are you
people that have
stopping
joined that.
the
Oh, yes.
recording?
Yes. Start here. All right. So now that we're all back, we have a couple of minutes, and after this, we'll do a short break, and then we'll go into the other tools. This is the big tool that I use very often. I'd like to see if we can, if you did a screenshot or something of, or just walk me through for each of the rooms. So from room 1, who is your representative? Room 1 was Christina, Katya, Hassan, Sabina, and Stephanie.
Katya shared the file
Katya
in
shared
the
the
chat.
file. Okay,
Ooh.
let's. Yeah,
I have already done my part.
let's walk through it. I will here so that everyone can see it. So room 1 was talking about low retention. Okay, and they went in and they said, okay, what constitutes good retention? You have quality, fun, doesn't fit, cost. To me, by the way, maybe fun and quality fall under the same thing, because good quality means you have fun, but
no,
something to go in and but hey, that's the thing. You always want to think about, is it truly BC? Is it truly mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive? Is quality the same thing as fun? Is it not mutually exclusive? Anyways, these are questions we always ask ourselves. And then afterwards, let's just look at quality. I won't go into the whole tree, but I see that you really went in. Right, so quality, right? You have low quality from feedback. Well, you can maybe rule it out. Maybe you are getting good feedback. Recognition, not enough recognition. Maybe the meetings are too long. You don't have any pathways. There are no mentorship and no leadership. You can actually go down much further, of course, with more time, sitting down, and you can rule out each one of these to see what's the problem. Sometimes you might have a couple of problems, by the way, but because it might be a feedback loop, but you want to try and find the biggest one. Right, so if your biggest problem is because of leadership, you might want to go then down into leadership pipeline, or the leadership quality is not good, and you might need a whole tree on that, a whole separate tree on that. So you really went in. Good job. All right.
Can only one comment? Something that Katya said, that in fact, if you think of a moment of truth, this could be a very useful tool to use for brainstorming.
100%. 100%. The way I view it sometimes is like, this is 5 whys, but on steroids. Right, if you've heard of the 5 whys, where if you could ask why 5 times, usually get to the bottom of a problem. This is much deeper, but you're still asking, why do we have low leadership quality? But why do we have that? Why do we have that? And you can go down further. For Laor, P quality, D, everything is quality. Everything is quality. Right, let's look at the next tree here. All right. The next tree is low pathways adoption. And I think I overheard that this is low pathways adoption in one of the areas in Italy. So we can talk about the fact that there are 2 maybe reasons. Maybe there's not great onboarding, and many members don't understand English, which is also true. Pathways isn't translated into Italian. It is translated into many other languages, but not Italian, not yet. And I was there when I was talking about the fact that we were talking, okay, many members don't understand English. Okay, so understanding English comes from automatic translation or helping members with the English. But then you could say, but helping members with the English also comes as part of onboarding. right? A good VPE, mentor, whatever, that is chosen should be able to understand pathways or what's going on. Or at least to translate it into English, the basic. So maybe it falls under onboarding. So let's say, okay, it falls under onboarding, and we can say that maybe the VPE is not helping them choose a path, or the VPM, or whoever usually does it in these clubs. And we can go down. Why is the VPE doing that? Maybe the VPE is struggling with English. Okay, then maybe this actually falls under a different problem. Maybe the VPs don't understand there. Or maybe the mentors, it's also similar problem, or they don't understand, or the VPE isn't doing an onboarding with them, or whatever other reason. Okay. And we could go further and further here. Pathways adoption is a big question. It's always a big problem. And I think hopefully there will be a little bit more automatic translation. And I think that if you use ChatGPT or other tools, you can definitely start to get it a little bit better onboarded. Let's look at the third tree. Did any of you do I did a screenshot, so I'll actually go into, I'll share it. I managed to get a screenshot of it. So the third room looked at low growth in one of the clubs. I believe it's the one in Canada, right? The one that Vinita is a member
Yes,
of in Toronto. Yeah.
Yes, it's four of us collectively. Messy thought process. Yes.
No worries. So, so
I
as
don't
we
know.
can, sorry, I'll let you.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you can zoom it up. I can read it, but
You
I'm
can
not
zoom
sure
it.
if
Yeah.
my friends can read that too. Yeah. Right. Okay. Thank you. So,
So
for
is
low,
it?
yeah.
I'll let you talk. I'll let you have 2 minutes on this.
Oh my God. Oh my. So sorry. No, please go ahead. Yeah. No, I forgot
No,
the
you're the one who did it. I joined the last minute, I think.
Yeah. So under this one, we were dissecting the low membership growth. It somehow missed the word membership. I'm not sure why. So low membership club growth, and why we feel that what are the couple of reasons for that. And here Laor, we picked up the idea which you were giving about over, on, and under the channel. So when we say over, by that we mean that when what lays outside of our club membership premise, let's say, right? So that's over it. So that means that either there is low or no PR or marketing activity which is going on. And couple of reasons for why low or no PR is that either we are not communicating in the right channels, or we are communicating in the channels which has a very limited audience, or either my messaging is not very strong, it is weak and not able to pick up attention of my potential club members, right? So this is on the over the channel.
You could go deeper, of course, but yes, I see what you're going well with this. I like it.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we would
Obviously,
need another
20
couple
minutes
of
is barely
10,
enough.
15. Yeah, for 20 minutes. And yeah, my breakout room was fantastic. So it's again a collective thought here. So second reason is on the channel is about when we talk about what's going on in the meeting. So why sometimes uh, people are finding that meeting pattern or meeting format is not very interesting, or what they were looking for is not out there. For example, in my club, people really enjoy table topics. They just want to go on and on about it. And sometimes, the speaker, as when a speaker comes with the technical thing, so that bores people out. So if I'm an evaluator, I pointed out that, make it more fun or things like those. So it's totally on how the format is designed for that club. And the second reason could be when you are giving some, what do you call, like the participation or concession sessions for a person to attend those meetings, so that they can have a look and feel of it. So they come and they attend those fixed number of meetings and then they go away. So maybe could be one of the reasons is like they're not liking what's going on. And one of the feedbacks which I got is that they found it to be too much orchestrated. Like You know, so some people love doing that play role thing, but some people do not enjoy that part. They just want to come and talk. But then we have to talk it out that it takes time, so which is like a separate topic and a breakout for that topic. And the last reason for why we believe one of the good reasons, and which falls under the channel category, is that what's going on among the members, right, when they fall out of the group, is like they are either we are not able, so that is under inclusivity. And for that we talk about like either there are a lack of consensus in the terms of when the meeting is happening, so that is on the timing part, or either on the location part, or either like I may totally want to go online, but my colleague may want to come and meet in a coffee club or something like that. So lack of consensus on timing and location part. And the third reason could be there may be a different preference for format. So I may want to do as I see it, not at the beginning, but at the end of the speech, or whatever is the order a club follows. So these are a couple of reasons why we feel that if we hammer them down further, break them down further, we'll be able to pinpoint in the priority order why a membership is struggling for a particular group, for a particular club.
Right. So yeah, low growth, it could be also, by the way, maybe low retention could also fall into here, right? If there's too much churn, if there's too much this and that, people might also, and this might fall under quality, and maybe some of the things here. Again, this is along, and by the way, it's not always, you're not always going to have 3 categories or 2 categories per tree. You know, sometimes you'll have 4 or 5. Usually if it's more than that, it's already, maybe you need a different branch, but yeah, it's not always 3. But you did a good job, and I think this is you're getting, yeah, you definitely got the gist of it, which is very good.
Sometimes I feel like, and I've seen this among my senior club members, it's fatigue, right? They are
Yes,
very
burnout is
active.
definitely something in there as
Like
well.
they feel that they're maxed out what they can pick. So something
Yep.
like that.
Fatigue can also fall under like the club quality, right? Or maybe there's a different, maybe it could go higher. Okay, you work on it for more than 20 minutes and you start to understand where the problems are. So with that, I think it's time we can take a short break to rest, and then we'll go back. So 7 minutes, I'll say, because I'm OCD.
Okay.
I like things that are divisible by 5, and I want to finish. I want us to go back. So we'll be back at 05. So we will now move on to our next tool. I won't linger too long on it. No breakout rooms this time, but I will still touch upon it because I think this is an important tool for when you're thinking about chartering a new club, when you're doing an analysis. So this tool is called PESTLE. PESTLE stands for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, legal. So we'll go point by point, and I'll try to give you examples of why this is good for when you are thinking about chartering a new club, deciding on where and how to do it right. So political factors, for us at Toastmasters, it might not be the most relevant all the time. Nonetheless, there are potentially trade and tax policies. For example, in some of the countries throughout the world, there's already now VAT, for example. In Germany, they had it implemented, I believe, a year ago or 2 years ago, so it certainly can affect the cost. And I think it might expand in the rest of the EU from what I've heard. So thinking about, okay, how does this cost affect membership? If all of a sudden it's not just paying the $60 to join or to be a member, you now have to pay an additional 18% or 17 or 20 or whatever your local VAT is, might affect your membership and where you're going to open the club, right? Because for one person, it might be a big change. For another person, it might not be such a big change. We also might have, so this is maybe more political. Usually it's less of a factor here, but economic most certainly can be a factor. They talk about inflation, interest rates, exchange rates, economic growth, and unemployment levels. So if you want to open a club that is for catering towards people who are currently unemployed and looking for a job and to improve their public speaking, you might want to look at what is the actual unemployment level. Do your analysis. Is this actually a place that's worth it? If this is your target market. Otherwise, it's not worth it, or you need to change your target market. Your market might be people who are in high tech, right? So this could still certainly be still economic, right? So people who are in the high tech sector, or maybe this is a more of an industrial sector, or some other things, and that can affect the economic point of view for charting this club. Social includes cultural trends, patterns in society, lifestyle trends, right age distribution, consumer behavior. So the way that some people that blue-collar workers might consume Toastmasters or get the value from it in a different way from white-collar workers. You know, maybe it's going to work one way if you do it in a corporate club that meets at lunch versus maybe a corporate club that meets in the morning or maybe the afternoon. You might want to think about these social factors, the trends of these particular companies, because in the high-tech sector, they might prefer to do it at lunch or maybe in the afternoon or in the morning, versus lunch might be more in one of the more traditional industries. Technological. So technological factors certainly can affect the marketing approach, right? Do we want to use TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Eventbrite, anything else? What technological factors are affecting Toastmasters in this particular place and region? It's not the biggest factor usually because we are not doing a technological effect here, but we can certainly still say that maybe because of short form videos, our base product needs to be changed a little bit for this particular region. Environmental may include climate change, environmental regulations. This is less useful in Toastmasters, but maybe for your company, it's still be important of this is how we should enter this market. And legal is important within Toastmasters. Supposing if there's a local entity, Toastmasters might be easier to open up a club versus, for example, if you don't have a local entity, this can be not so great. We had this recent example in one of the clubs we were chartering, where in order to be able to use the community centers, they wanted us to have a local nonprofit branch of this set up. And that's a very long story. So that affected which community centers we can work with. And in the end, we went for a different one that didn't care about getting invoices from a nonprofit. They were okay with getting it from just a person. And this can affect the market. At least two of the people in this meeting know what I'm talking about. And actually can provide their own insights as well. So Pestle is usually good for understanding the current climate on chartering a new club. Just saying, hey, I think this is a good idea before you've done this analysis might not be, maybe you'll be able to find a reason that might not work. And maybe you will. Maybe this is a check on yourself. Next, that I'll move on to more quickly is SWOT. I'm sure many of you have heard about SWOT analyses. Stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Right. But the important thing that people have to remember is that a good SWOT analysis isn't just about the matrix itself. What strengths, what weaknesses, what opportunities, what threats. You need to also understand how these threats and weaknesses and so forth affect you. So you need to actually do the analysis. It's not just a SWOT, it's a SWOT analysis. And after you have the facts and the matrix, and after you have the analysis, then you can do the action plan. Usually 2 to 3 things. that you're going to do the action plan, right? Something to remember, strengths and weaknesses are internal, opportunities and threats are external. So, and we'll get to it right now. So let's do one for District 109. And I'll do it right with you here, live from, not New York, it's Wednesday evening. Let's think of the strengths of District 109.
Geographical diversity.
So, okay, I mean, let's it's I'm going for that, but I think a bigger one is that, although maybe there's geographical diversity, but we don't just say geographical diversity. We say, in these facts, we say geographical diversity, giving a host of resources, people resources, right? This is the fact. Just by itself, geographical diversity doesn't actually tell me very much. This is, by the way, not the analysis just yet. This is literally just the facts. We say geographical diversity gives me a host of resources, of knowledge resources, I should say. Okay. What is another strength for District 109? And remember, internal. So not an opportunity, not a weakness, something from the inside that we have. How about, and this is true for all of Toastmasters, a strong brand, a strong value, or rather strong product with brand value, delivering needs to the members, usually, right? This is Toastmasters in general, right? We're still part of it. What's another strength of District 109? Well, there may be one more, and we'll move on.
Access to a lot of sources.
Access to a lot of what?
Sources.
Sources. Okay, I think geographical diversity giving access. I think this to a, because it falls under this.
The quality of the clubs, if you
Okay.
think as by the DCP.
Okay, there we go. So this is a good one. So high quality clubs as seen on the DCP. I see that someone sent a message. If you could tell me what it is?
Yes. So Katya saying leadership pipeline, international director, regional
Okay.
advisor.
Okay, so we can say the international director and regional advisor are both from District 109, but at the moment, this is we'll see what happens next year. Giving a stronger leadership pipeline. Okay, well, let's go to weaknesses. So weaknesses, I think definitely one of the weaknesses
Geographical diversity.
Exactly. So in this case, it's not so much the geographical diversity, but the geographic expanse.
That makes it difficult to...
Conflicts.
Sorry?
Conflicts. This is a reason
Cultural
conflicts because we are thinking differently. Different culture, maybe political situation.
So that too, and I'll get that. That's a second weakness. The first weakness is literally just geographic expense makes it difficult to travel to the conferences and meetings and so forth. And yes, another one is many different cultures. Leading to conflicts and misunderstanding. That's perfectly also one of them. Another weakness is that not just to conferences and meetings. By the way, also one of the strengths is actually well, maybe it's even more of an opportunity rather than a strength, is the fact that we're actually surprisingly not like deep. We don't have that many clubs per square kilometer, not like other districts in North America, for example. Meaning many places where we go into don't have a club yet. So we're actually so this is potentially even the analysis point, right? This, how do we use our strengths to go and use these opportunities? But geographic expanse makes it difficult to travel to conferences and meetings, many different cultures leading to conflicts and misunderstanding. These are very big weaknesses. And I see Stefano. Stefano has...
I don't...
I'll let Stefano go first because I saw he...
I was trying to find the right words, but what if I consider the difference in the economic, in the cost actually? So in the difference in terms of life, how can I say? Oh my God, life cost, let's say. Okay, economic differences between the countries actually.
Yep, that's certainly socioeconomic differences make it difficult for members to attend events. Yeah, certainly. And also language differences. This falls under kind of cultures as well, but language differences make it harder to adopt maybe both pathways as we're talking previously, but also adopt district-wide initiatives. Because for us, English, maybe we're all speaking in English, but in our newsletter, when we send it out, it's in English. Some of the members won't be reading it, even though we have maybe some initiatives and incentives and so forth. It's a weakness. Is it one we can solve? I don't know, but it's something we need to acknowledge. Opportunities. So these are external. So I'm going to spend like not too much more time on this. All right. So opportunities coming from things that are affecting us from the outside. Maybe an opportunity for us, and okay, maybe I think, by the way, threats, definitely we can. I'll talk about threats really quickly because this one is a little bit easier to talk about. So first of all, one of the biggest threats is just in general, the adoption of VAT on membership fees by EU countries. Yep, this is going to affect us in terms of membership, most likely. Another threat is, you could say in general, short form video or short form media leading to shorter attention spans and less need for TM. We might also say LLMs, so large language models such as ChatGPT, rendering the need for developing for development, like self-development, redundant, right? Because people just use them as personal assistants today, right?
I see two other sort of, as I don't know if they are threats. One, recently I've seen a great increase in offering of public speaking courses, paid public speaking courses. So it's become like a business.
Yep.
And this is in conflict with our offer. That is one. And the other is given that in terms of sort of attracting people to Toastmaster, is that the changing algorithm of many of the social media, one like LinkedIn, I'm not sure that always is in favor of how we use it as an organization. So I think it's something that we need to keep in mind and understand.
Yeah. Algorithms not favoring current TM advertising.
Yeah. So I don't know,
Yes,
it's the change. I'm not sure that they're not favoring, but definitely is we need to keep track of the changes that are happening in the algorithm, because they could have it is a threat. It could have a negative effect on how we are using it.
So this is a good point, because this can go later into how we can use our strengths to take out these threats ahead of time. But for now, we just say they're not favoring. Yes, sorry.
I would like to add something.
Yes,
Could we
Christina.
change the title Treats with Challenge? Because myself, if I hear treats, I want to run. But if I hear challenge, I become creative.
So this is where the analysis comes in. It's a good question, because this is where the analysis comes in. How do we
Okay.
use our strengths to overcome this threat? How do
It
we?
can't be,
And that's to me, it's a challenge, right?
For me, it's a challenge, but you know, the treats is a bit, fire. Yeah.
Well, but this is in many ways threats, right? The algorithm changing how things work is fire, right? Or the VAT. For now, this is, by the way, this is a good question. Maybe other people are using it more as a challenge. I see most still use it as a SWOT analysis, but so again, we are looking right now at just the facts as they are, and then we're going to be looking at how we're going to overcome these facts. So opportunities that we can use. So one of our opportunities is that we are strong. Like, it's hard to say what our opportunities is, because in some ways the strength is already that we're a brand value, we exist for 100 years and so forth. Right, this is internal. What is our opportunity? An external opportunity? Well, we don't exist in many places, many major cities, or even major and medium cities, and corporations within the district. There are many places I can count that there's not even a single club. Right, in Tel Aviv, we only opened up one now, and Tel Aviv is a city of 1 million, so this is already one thing, right? So that is definitely an opportunity. I see Vinita, you unmuted.
Yeah, maybe another one could be different age group.
Okay, so catering to different age groups. But catering to different age groups, this is what we can do. What is the analysis? Actually, in some ways, this is both a threat and an opportunity within our district, because we have countries that are young, and we have countries that are getting a bit older as well.
Oh, by that I mean different age groups in the sense like age brackets. So like my teenager daughter is very interested in something like Toastmasters, but it's very hard for me to find a club like that for her.
For teenagers, by the way, it's there are gavel clubs. That's what if she's under 18, it's called a gavel club.
Okay, I'll look that one up for
Because
sure.
Toastmasters, yeah, it restricts only to 18 plus. So okay.
I think as
Catering-
an opportunity, we could say that there's a trend for personal development, personal growth.
Very good. Worldwide, I think that is definitely worldwide. True.
Yeah, I would
So-
say also to build an international network, developing a lot of friends internationally.
Yeah. So developing more international connections.
Katya is also saying in the chat, partnership with big corporates.
Yeah. So here is that's we don't exist in many major medium cities and corporations.
Okay.
Yeah. Within our district. But we can say, I suppose, partnership also with other self-development organizations, right? Such as TEDx and so forth, right? When you say TEDx, everyone knows what TEDx is. When we say Toastmasters, no one has heard of it yet. BNI, okay. Yeah, BNI, also such as BNI. So this is an opportunity. Great. Now, the next part is the analysis. How do we use our strengths to take on the opportunities? So how do we use that we have? Geographical diversity, strong product, high quality, international RA, to use the fact that we don't exist in many major cities and corporations, that how do we use it to use the trend for personal development, international connections, and partnership with other self-development organizations. So we can say, with our connections, our high-level connections in, for example, right, I'm just throwing this, in the organization, in TMI, we can bring a better chance of being able to partner with a corporation or organization, right? So what I'm trying to say is, it's one thing if one of the regular club sponsors or whatever is trying to get into NVIDIA. It's another thing when you can say, hey, the board of directors, right? The international director is coming, and as a representative of the whole organization, is able to come and do like a demo meeting or something, or be in a corporate summit. So this is how we can leverage that, our high-level connections. The fact that we also don't exist in many of the countries means that we have, or we don't exist in many of the places. So the strong product brand can be utilized to take on the trend for personal development, right? And so in these analysis, notice I'm writing as like full sentences. This is an analysis. It's not just bullet points.
The
Sorry,
fact that we speak different languages maybe can attract people.
Attract people for what they need, you know. So some wanting to develop English, right? Because it's true in many of our countries, while others in the native language. All right, you know, in general. Next, we go into how our weaknesses will stop us from taking on the opportunities. So we're saying, how is it that our geographic expands, making it difficult to travel, the socioeconomic differences, cultural differences, language differences, how do they affect the fact, how could they lead to us missing the opportunities? So for me,
For example,
okay, Yafit?
if we were to create a new club, let's say in a place where there is no club, then we need to send people over, to fly over, to go over. It's more challenging.
Country makes it challenging and expensive to travel, as well as harder to find local people to put on the demo meeting, right? So, right, we don't have any clubs, for example, in Montenegro. It'll be a bit harder for people to get to Montenegro to go put on a club. I mean, we have to find people locally. Nonetheless, usually some will need to travel. Other places might be a little bit easier, such as the Vatican, but the Vatican has its own little world, let's put it this way, of getting in. Right, socioeconomic differences might make it harder to, or maybe actually the language differences might make it harder to partner with local corporations, right? Right, you're not speaking my language, you're not part of my culture, you know, why should I talk to you? That's why, of course, we have the division directors and area directors and so forth, because usually you're local enough, but still, it is a bit harder. I'll move on to the next point so that we can make everything in time. How do we use our strengths to overcome threats? Right, our large geographic diversity and high quality clubs and so forth, how do they help us overcome, you know, short form media, ChatGPT, increasing paid public speaking courses, algorithms? So as you've mentioned, Christina, you know, using our strong resource, knowledge resources to continuously upkeep with changing algorithms or marketing algorithms. We might also say we can use our strong product and brand, strong human product and brand can help overcome the inhumanity of LLMs, and also using this knowledge to work with the LLMs rather than against it. All right, if you can't beat them, join them. And we could go on. And weaknesses and threats. So, which means how will our weaknesses like make it even worse for us from the threats? So socioeconomic differences, this is the easiest one I can say right now, can lead to lower membership, to increased taxation / VAT. Right, this is already one I can say because we already see it. We also might say that like the different cultures. I'm wondering if I can connect anything else here. Maybe the geographic expanse and traveling makes it harder to like compete with local public speaking courses. Large geographic expanse makes it harder to compete with local public speaking courses, especially when the first people to come in start, well, might not necessarily say with locals, right? And so then we might say, okay, then we need to get more locals. That's why in Albania, for example, it worked so well, because we had the local champions, Endri and Katie and Voltissa and all those, because they were on the local, and that way you can actually, it was a little bit easier to bring in. If you don't have anyone locally, it's harder. So given that, we now can do the plan. So the plan is, and usually we say, our big plan is to invest in, I'm just bringing something up, right? Invest strongly in PR for our unique worldly value, unique value from international image. Maybe we can also say foster a sense of community, even in the large district. So like having events, more local events and so forth to help people kind of come together. And think about train actually, or find a way to reduce, to provide value, or ensure rather, the value of EM is felt in more just economic terms, because then we can say that it's not just the money. There's more to it than just paying, and I'm willing to. It's one of the plans, but again, the plan should be 2 to 3 points, nothing more, right? It's something you should be able to put into practice and to stay focused. All right. The last tool I'm going to touch on, and of course I'll have a little bit of time open, and this is a tool that is usually very good for, again, for marketing. It's called the R tool, AAARRR. It's called the pirate funnel. It's used by, so in the real world, it's used more by growth hackers, and so forth, when it comes to product managers to find bottlenecks. It's used to cut a company into pieces, the actual funnel, the marketing funnel, into each and every single piece. And you'll see it in a sec what those pieces are. You have to remember, this is data-driven in this particular case. So you have to know the data or have the data so that you can fill in each of the steps. And thus you can help to find the bottlenecks and growth. So what are these bottlenecks? Well, first of all, what are these steps? We have awareness, acquisition, activation, retention, revenue, referral. R. So awareness stands for how many people do you reach, right? Your marketing, how many people do you reach with your post on Facebook or on Google Ads or LinkedIn, right? If you could say that, because these can be measured, there are various tools that you can measure these particular things, how many people that reached. Even Facebook, if you have like the Meta or Business Suite, I think, or something like that, you can actually see the statistics. So how many people did you reach? You could say we reached 1,000 people, 4,000. Right, on Instagram, I know that some of the clubs the biggest clubs in our district, I think, have like 4,000 or 4,300 even people that they reach. These clubs are in Türkiye. I know Hassan, I think he's involved in at least one of them, I think. So I'm always interested in learning more from him. So that's the awareness. Next, you can say how the acquisition. So in this case, it's how many people visited your website. So if you have a local website, like Toastmasters Italy, Toastmasters Israel, Toastmasters Albania, Switzerland, whatever, you can see how many people clicked. We also see how many people actually visited Toastmasters itself, how many people actually submitted actually looked in. We have on District 109, I can see how many people visited the website. This is, of course, well, only the admins can see it, but nonetheless, even on your Facebook posts or other posts, you can still see afterwards how many people actually went and clicked on that particular post. Afterwards, that actually is the activation. So after they clicked on it, how many people actually went through? They attended the first meeting, or they contacted the vice president membership, or anything else. So this is right. How many people take the first important step? You contacted the VPM and you joined the first meeting. So that's the activation. Afterwards, you have the retention. How many people come back or buy again? So actually, you might even say that acquisition is how many people came to the first club meeting. Then activation is how many people actually paid out of that. So the conversion rate from that. Then the retention. So how many people come back or buy again? And this is very easy to measure because you can actually see the renewal rate. But you can also, of course, look at how many people are coming to each club and so forth. Revenue is a bit of a different story in Toastmasters. It's hard. This particular R, I think, is not as relevant for us. So then it's R, but with one less R. But you can still look at the revenue. And of course, referral, which is the big one. How many people refer friends to our businesses? What is the word of mouth? Right. So for each one of these, you might say, and here, see, they say that the acquisition was right. So we had from 50 people that actually just heard about this particular website to then went on the website, 20%. From there was 30% that actually did the activation, clicked on it, bought it is 60%, but then retention, no one stayed. You have 10% and referral 25%. And see, there you can actually see the referral or the bottleneck, excuse me. The bottleneck in the organization. You could say between paying and retention, we have a big problem. This is very useful if you want to understand where your PR is not working or where your retention is not working. And only then you can actually start to use the other tools of why is our PR not working, why is our retention not working, and so forth. You understand now? So these tools, they work together with other things. So you do this, you have the data. Now you can start to do MISI, or you can start to do other things.
So you start from this, basically.
I might start from this. Yeah, I might actually start more from this because this is the more easy to gather, this data. And then from there, I can understand I have a problem.
Or where the problem is.
Rather, exactly. Right, so you gather ideas on how you could solve the problem, you rank those ideas, we need to do this, we can try and advertise here, then we advertise here, and then we do this. Okay, what is the easiest? Or what is the most important and potential impact? We do a growth experiment, right? We see if this works, maybe for a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever we decide. And you have to study the outcome, whether it's a good outcome or a bad outcome. Because sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's going to be bad. And you can't always know. And to summarize, because I do have a couple minutes I want to have here. Again, these are just a few of the tools that we use as district officers and as club officers, right? These are tools. It's okay to use several tools at the same time to solve a problem, right? When you are renovating your house, you're not using just a hammer, right? You're using a hammer, a screwdriver, maybe a saw, and so many different things. So there are many tools. Remember always to stay focused on the end. What is this you actually fix? But there are many tools out there. And remember to always learn. Always ask why. Why is it like this? Why is it like this? And always study the outcomes, whether they're good or bad. This is, I'm always looking for people for my program quality director team. Whether you're looking to do your DTM, your HPL, for the conference teams, anything else that has to do with program quality, I'm always looking for people. For example, Yafit, she's the DOTx chair here, and she's part of the PQD team. And DOTx is a very important thing. Of course, we have someone on the conference team, and everything else that helps to improve the quality of Toastmasters. And if you want to talk to me, this is my number and my email. I'm here for you. With that, I know we do have a few minutes left, so I do want to have open it up for questions. And Yafit, you also raised your hand.
Yeah, so I have a question. The last slide that you showed, examine the outcomes. What was it you said?
So always learn, always ask why.
Yeah.
And always study the outcomes.
So study the outcomes, meaning why it's like that. So you mean the outcomes of all the analysis that we did, right?
So not just the analysis, but what you also did afterwards, right? These strategic, so that's what I'm going to say. The analysis is important, but at the end of the day, you're doing this analysis in order to implement something.
Okay.
Right. We did the MISI in order to understand if there's a leadership pipeline problem. Okay, let's figure out where the problem is and what we can do to implement it. Once you implement that idea, study. Has this actually helped? Have we solved the problem? Right? Same thing with SWOT analysis. We can study on, right, we built the plan at the very end. Based on what we did, we can study. We did the plan, did it work? Do we still have the same strengths, the same weaknesses? Have we used these opportunities and threats? For the R funnel, has our data changed? Is our retention better? Is our growth retention? Has our something in the funnel changed? And for Pestle, this is kind of the one that is really you do something before and you see if it works or not. As in, if you want to charter a club, you can see did it work or not, and this is really more of just an analysis.
Okay.
Yeah. So thanks, Yafit. Christina, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I was thinking, I found this session extremely useful and
Thank you.
fun. I really enjoyed it. And I was wondering, the clubs and all the ex-com that are currently working on the club success plan, of which we know also the SWOT analysis, one element that is suggested. Wouldn't they benefit from having a COT session similar to this?
I would encourage you to do this as a COT session. I will share these. I will share this slide with all of you. There's likely, if need be, I might do it as a district COT as well. But I also encourage you, the area directors, if you want to try and implement this in your own COTs, Do it, go for it. Right, this is a training. So I want to make sure that I trained you well, so that not only can you do this well, but also that you can train others.
I think, we've already had the COT beginning of July in most places, but I was thinking that probably would be useful to have like this extra module for people because working on the club success plan. Because today I had a question from somebody in relation to the club success plan, and this person had never used a SWOT analysis.
Yeah, certainly, and we can do a TLI for that, and also in the winter we'll likely have something about this as well. So it will be after the club success plan needs to be sent in, but use this all the time, right? If you're in the mid-year, there's some sort of problem, you use it to try and solve something. So yes, I will try and do this also as an additional COT in August. We can probably do a special session in September because the club success plan needs to be sent in by September 30th and not August 30th, 31st. So I can also do a special session on that, just on that. But as a COT, I'm more than happy to do it as a district level COT in August to make sure. Last year I presented part of this when I was the CGD, and I know some of the area directors went and did this in their area COTs, but I'd be more than happy to do this also on a district level. And of course, if you want me to come in as a guest or as a as a guest speaker, trainer, or to bring in more materials, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to do it as well.
You'll regret it. Everybody will ask you.
Yeah, I hope everyone will ask me. It's a problem to have. I'm more afraid that no one will ask me. Do we have any more questions? We still have a couple of minutes, 5 more minutes. I'll put in my my info here in the chat so you can copy it later. And I seem to have written down everyone. It's very silent here. Yeah,
Okay.
5 minutes is still 5 minutes.
Okay.
I
Do
might
you
as
want to
well
wait or wrap it up 5 minutes early?
I might as well give it. Maybe I could give another tool.
I was thinking,
Laor.
Laor, that actually your method should be also useful when we are doing the club visit report, right? So when we need to summarize, because we should follow the guideline of moment of truth, and it's also useful to reflect and find out a way to suggest a feedback to the club. So, for example, if you find something that should be a strength, you can also, remark that is a strength, but give some suggestion in order to avoid to become a trait. Or if you see that something is a little bit low from quality point of view or other major aspect, you can suggest a way to convert from weakness in opportunities, something like that. So it's also a mindset, for example.
That is a perfect example. This is a perfect example of how you can do it effectively. Yes. And then afterwards, if the club wants to sit down and think about it more, you as the area director can do a bit of a deeper session with the president, with the executive committee, and so forth. Because you are usually, of course, to your home club, maybe you won't be the outsider, but nonetheless, you should try and take it as a step back, right? Not just, I am a member of this particular organization, I'm a member of this particular club. Take it as if I'm not a member of this. I was dropped in from the outside. I'm not a Toastmaster. I'm a McKinsey consultant or Bain or whatever, BCG. this is how I view these things. And the fact that you're so much like that you're stuck in this particular framework of, oh, we need to market this way, maybe isn't so good. My regular self might say, oh, I understand. Yeah, of course you're going to market this way, that we are where leaders are made and so forth. But when you look from the outside, you might say, maybe we need to, this is still the official tagline, but maybe you need to market it in a different way on a different platform. So try and take a step back. And I think this is the real juice comes out in the last 5 minutes of a meeting. You have to remember to, just take a step back, not to don't be thinking as if you're part. Okay, Stefano Maria.
Oh, yes, thank you. First of all, thank you very much. It was very helpful, interesting. I was trying to figure out how to use the SWOT analysis. I think that it can be very helpful for clubs to define their identity. If they start from the SWOT analysis, they can define what club they are, what kind of club they are. It's something that can be very helpful.
Yeah. This, along with, and it's another tool, I'll give the name, you could, and I could talk about it afterwards at a different time with you. It's called the business model canvas.
Yeah.
Also the business model canvas can really help to understand what is your unique value proposition and how, as a club, right? And how you use the inputs to deliver the output of that particular value.
Shows. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, sure.
So
Okay.
thank you, Stefano, and thank you all, and I'll hand it over back to our DOTx chair.
So now we really need to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Laor, it was fascinating. I think we learned a lot. We're very engaged. It was very well done. So thank you. And next week on Wednesday, we have our CHD, Meltem, giving her knowledge, expertise on how to grow a club from chartering to flourishing. So do tune in. And that's it from me. Good night, everybody.
Ciao.